Think I have time for another one. Max walked back to the dormitory wing of the CMI building. All the other contestants, except Keto, her fellow American, were hanging out in the commons, munching on crunchy Israeli junk food, barbecue bisli, wheat twists, peanut buttery bomba curls, which Max thought looked like brown Cheetos. They were being entertained by Klaus, who was wearing a curly yarn dust mop on his head. Look at me, I'm Max. He put on a high-pitched voice. Ooh, I love Albert Einstein. When I grow up, I want to marry his brain. Klaus had not seen Max enter the room, but she was standing right behind him. He pranced in place, flouncing around to make his curly mop top flop. Dr. Einstein wrote E=mc² just for me. See, it has M and E in it. Me. Now he giggled like Max had never giggled before in her life. The other kids stopped laughing at his imitation because they saw Max, even if Klaus didn't. Klaus, said Hannah, you might want to knock it off. Why? Because, said Max, it's hysterical. She started laughing hard. It's me. I'm Einstein's #1 fangirl, and I do want to marry his brain. She fell to her knees, her body and curly hair shaking with laughter. The rest of the kids started laughing too. They'd all been under a lot of stress because of the 8-hour exam. Laughter was a good way to release some of it. When Max was able to breathe and talk again, she told everybody that she'd seen Keto go into the judge's room when she came out. He's the last one, said Toma. We all received our test scores. I got an 83, said Klaus, sounding more humble than usual. How did you do? Max shrugged. I'm not sure they didn't give me a score. More like an incomplete. I got one of those too, said Vihan. I found the second question on quantum mechanics to be so fascinating. I spent 4 hours crafting my response to question 32. I skipped that one, said Siobhan. Me too, admitted Max, but soon one of us will be chosen. We'll have to start leading the charge for change. Tisa nodded. We'll have to start healing the planet. Or find a planet B, said Toma, the budding astrophysicist. But there is no planet B. Unless, of course, we find a wormhole in our spaceship that can travel through. Okay, said Tisa, rubbing her hands together. Let's play a game. Saving the planet. First challenge. Climate change. How do we change it back? Go. Max hung back. She'd never played a game with kids before. Was she supposed to let them win, like when she played chess with Mr. Weinstock? Simple, said Hannah, holding her long dark hair behind an ear. High-speed rail, like we have in Japan. If more countries invested in the technology, there would be significant carbon emissions reductions. Indigenous land management, shouted Siobhan, getting into the spirit of the game. Nobody's better at protecting rainforests than people who lived in them for generations. Let the locals manage their own environments. If we did that, we could eliminate more than 6 gigatons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. How about improved rice production, suggested Tisa. If we could get rice farmers to do things slightly different, we can dramatically reduce the amount of methane produced by current agricultural techniques. Wind turbines, shouted Vihan. Educating girls all over the world, said Annika. A plant-rich diet, shouted Hannah, the botanist. You already said high-speed rail, said Klaus. So? You can't have 2 solutions. Actually, said the ever-logical Annika, I would hazard to guess that none of the world's problems will ever be resolved with one single solution. Klaus, it will take an amalgam of many. Annika's right, said Tisa. Whoever wins this contest will need the help and ideas, all of them that they can get. They'll need intellectual curiosity and imagination, said Max, finally joining in. Remember what Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Ooh, cooed Klaus, putting on his high-pitched voice and curly wig again. Einstein said it. He's a genius. Oh, I love Einstein. Everybody in the room cracked up again, but Max was the one laughing the loudest. Here's her sketch of what all of their ideas look like to her.